check out our new sponsor, the Health Blaze. All the information is in the description. Use the promo code above. Goodfella One Boxing at 18% off of all their natural products, from deodorant, pomade, toothpaste, and much, much more. And they have additional discounts on their website as well. That's thehealthblaze.com. Starting December 20th. That promo code is good for 18% off. We go. All right, man. We back. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Hit the subscribe button, bell icon button. It's your boy CJ Goodfella Sports TV. And I was informed, and I see the sources on Twitter. I'll link some sources in the description about Canelo. Is that, Canelo really don't want to fight Gennady Golovkin so bad, and he's going to be fighting Demetrius Andrade. And I'm explaining some behind-the-scene work why the Derevianchenko fight didn't happen. But once again, I do appreciate everybody for checking in. Share the video. It's the best way to help the channel. If you want to make a donation, that link's in the description. And you see the battle video. Now, I got another video coming about Gennady Golovkin. Just kind of ignore the stuff about Derevianchenko. If he comes full circle, that's who he fights. But, yeah, what happened between Canelo and Derevianchenko, what they not reporting is, of course, I did the video, said they didn't come to a deal. But Al Heyman, they tried to lowball Derevianchenko, and pretty much Canelo ended up not wanting to fight him because he wasn't a name, and Golden Boy was giving him a lowball offer. Now, Al Heyman affected this deal. Al Heyman is Derevianchenko's advisor, manager, whatever you want to call him. He for sure affected this deal. They tried to lowball Derevianchenko. I don't know what Oscar De La Hoya was thinking. He worked with Al Heyman before, and he knew that Al Heyman is the biggest pro boxer, manager, whatever they want, advisor in the history of boxing. And he knew they wasn't going to let Derevianchenko take a lowball offer to fight Canelo Alvarez. Therefore, they missed the deadline, and now Triple G is the next up contender for a title fight with, Golovkin is the next contender for Derevianchenko. But pretty much Al Heyman didn't let Canelo play Derevianchenko. They wanted a certain amount of money for Derevianchenko. Oscar De La Hoya act like they didn't want it. And, Canelo took less money to even from the zone to fight Derevianchenko because he didn't want to put Gennady Golovkin as his next fight in the contract. So now I'm hearing that Golovkin will actually accept the offer to fight Derevianchenko for the vacant IBF belt. And now Canelo is going to look to get the WBO belt from Demetrius Andrade and unify that with the WBA championship or title he got. Now, he don't have the WC title no more. That franchise champion, it can't be won by another fighter. It's an honorary belt. I keep telling people that. People act like it's a real belt. It means nothing. It's an honorary belt. Jamal is the top contender. And had they paid Jamal Charlo to keep that WBC belt, Canelo and Triple G could be fighting for undisputed. But let's talk about Derevianchenko and Golovkin for a second. So, barring any differences, I got a video coming talking about Triple G ducking Jaime Munguia. He ducked Jaime Munguia even before all this was supposed to materialize. They were supposed to give Derevianchenko a deal. It was supposed to happen, and Golovkin had chose not to fight Jaime Munguia, and I got a video coming probably tomorrow about that. But in between time, in the meantime, unless he don't accept to fight Derevianchenko, it look like he'll fight Derevianchenko on his own. That's a different tax bracket right there. Canelo bring a different type of bag, and even Gennady Golovkin knows that. So I'm not sure if that fight going to happen October 5th. I know Eddie Hearn said Golovkin could come back October 5th in LA. That will give them a little bit of time to make the fight happen. We in August, September, so they have about 8 weeks to prepare for the fight and set up a venue and stuff of that nature. And if they can set up a venue and they fight out in LA, so be it. I don't think really nobody care about that fight. And maybe because Jack Colclough looked, Derevianchenko don't look that good versus Colclough, and he lost to Danny Jacobs, maybe Golovkin believe he can beat him. But it wouldn't surprise me if that fight didn't happen because Golovkin didn't want it, because he don't want to mess up a potential Canelo fight. Because if he loses to Derevianchenko, then he can lose. And I just got a message saying that the zone is pressuring and finally forcing Triple G to they pressure him into the fight in Derevianchenko. Triple G is not willingly trying to fight Derevianchenko. The zone is pressuring Triple G to take the Derevianchenko fight so the belt doesn't go to Premier Boxing Champions. Al Heyman already took 3 belts from them in the heavyweight division with Andrew Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. And then again, ESPN took one with Top Rank, taking Mercy Hooker losing his belt to Jose Ramirez. So, that's the way it's going down right now. So, right now, the DAZN is pressuring Triple G and fighting Derevianchenko. So, obviously, there's no guarantee that he's going to fight him. So, Triple G still could fight another Steve Rose type of opponent. That's why I say, man, he already ducked out of a Jaime fight. Now, most people will say Derevianchenko is better than Jaime, but they want Triple G to fight Derevianchenko for the belt. But Triple G is next up in line for the belt versus Derevianchenko. Okay, I wish he had a shorter name. Okay, it's hard to fix his name in 100 characters. But then again, I mean, it is what it is. They pressuring Triple G, but they can't force them to do nothing. That's Miles. It reminds me of PBC. They so fighter friendly that they don't force their fighters to do nothing that they don't want to do. And if they do, they overcompensate them for it. But, at the end of the day, it's still an opportunity that belt might just go back to PBC. So we'll see what happens with Triple G. If Triple G chooses not to fight Serhiy Derevianchenko, that the next contender could be Camille Zamat, and that probably go on somewhere on PBC, the FS1, Fox, or Showtime, CBS family of networks. But I don't understand why Triple G wouldn't want to fight Derevianchenko. For what it's worth, Jack Colclough gave Demetrius Andrade a really, really tough fight. He did. Colclough's a tough guy to look good for. He's so short and to the floor. Andrade had a ton of problems with him. And due to that was because he was lethargic and he was just coming back trying to get more active in the game. But Derevianchenko is a lot shorter than Demetrius Andrade. But Colclough like 5'6". He was a junior middleweight when he fought Andrade, and now he was a middleweight now. He's just a tough guy to fight, just so short and low to the canvas, man. So that's a guy. That's the tough fight to look good versus. But Derevianchenko didn't get completely outclassed versus Danny Jacobs. Now somebody was telling me that Derevianchenko might have beat Triple G in the amateurs. I don't know if that's true, but whatever reason it is, I don't know why Triple G wanted to fight this guy. Derevianchenko tough. He got a nice little irky-jerky pop-up style, but he don't really seem to be nothing special that Triple G shouldn't be able to handle. But when you've been fighting Steve Rose and Vanez and, them type of fights outside of Canelo, it's probably tough to make that adjustment and fight a guy like Derevianchenko. But it is what it is. But the DAZN, I don't know if Derevianchenko and Triple G goes to a purse bid and they try to do a deal next. Is it a 7-day, 30-day purse bid with them? And we'll see what they hash out if Triple G wants to fight. If not, it goes to Camille Zamat, and that's going to definitely go on PBC. But if I'm PBC, I might try to invest some money to get Derevianchenko and Triple G over to PBC. I might try to win that purse bid, force Triple G to jump networks, and probably he ain't going to try to come over to PBC to fight Derevianchenko, especially since they turned down his $15 to $20 million offer to come over there and then fight Jamal Charlo on pay-per-view. So if they really want that belt, they can win the purse bid, and Triple G won't cross the street, or he won't go outside the yard or go out the fence like a dog. But with Canelo fighting Demetrius Andrade, I believe it when I see it signed. Matter of fact, I believe it when I see them in the ring. That fight gonna be in October. They gonna drag Boo Boo to Las Vegas. In actuality, that'd be a nice fight out there on the East Coast. And Boo Boo showed he can pull a lot in his hometown. But we'll see. So Boo Boo played his cards right. He went on the DAZN side of the street, and Danny Jacobs got the Canelo fight, and now he willing to fight Demetrius Andrade over Triple G, and it'll be an interesting fight. Demetrius Andrade got to work on just lateral movement and using his boxing skills, and his time has come. If he really want to live up to all the hype that was coming out the amateurs, the hype when he was on Friday Night Fights on ESPN, all the hype and the build up is here. Hopefully he don't get out there and conduct himself or perform like Danny Jacobs did and perform like a straight mark. All right. Hopefully he get out there and he give his best foot effort. He challenges his inner Mayweather, if there's any in there, and he hits, don't get hit, and dog Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And what he got to know is he got something Danny Jacobs don't got. Okay. He a slick fighter. He long, he rangy, he knows how to box. He may not have Danny Jacobs' power, but, power don't matter if you don't hit the target. So what Andrade got to do is beat Demetrius Andrade, box, and Canelo start, trying to do that head movement. I will be trying to jab him in the solar plex, jab him in the chest, land some body shots here and there, and I would come out there and really approach that fight like he did with Serhiy. I would approach that fight with an aggressive nature, and trying to put Canelo on the back foot and push him backwards. And he ain't gonna be able to do that cha-cha real smooth that he did versus Golovkin, because Golovkin is a robotic European fighter. Andrade brings that slick ability to the table, and Andrade can really help rekindle the flame for Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn got a couple aces up his sleeve left now. They may not win him the poker round or win him blackjack, but he better hope they do. If Luke Campbell can bring home 3 belts versus Lomachenko, and Demetrius Andrade could beat Canelo, Eddie Hearn back in the game in his own. I feel like he DMX. He's slipping, he falling, he can't get up. The only way he gonna get up is off the strength of either Luke Campbell, Demetrius Andrade, if not both. But Canelo must feel confident fighting Demetrius Andrade. It's easy to feel confident when you got, after Andrade, you guaranteed you guarantee 8 more fights on his own at $30 million a clip. He gonna get his $35 million versus Andrade. He ain't gonna take a penny less, and it's gonna be a high profile fight. It's gonna be in like October and November. And if they really do fight, nobody suffer injury, then Demetrius Andrade can win a lot of black fans back, okay? A lot of people hopped off the Demetrius bandwagon because it sounded like he was clout chasing, he was trolling, he was this gifted fighter that never wanted to cash in on his skills or ability, okay? He was a gifted kid that never wanted to compete. He was a mental midget, and now, after all the stuff he been talking, all the build up for years in the sport game, what he could do. I fight this Charlo. I pull out versus that Charlo. I'm this. It's finally time to prove. It's time to prove to people that you one of the best fighters in the world. Finally, they're trying to put pen to paper. Now, if he lose, he lose this fight, then he just gonna go down as a forgotten fighter. If he win this fight, then he gonna shoot up pound for pound list. But a lot of the brothers stopped messing with Demetrius Andrade when him and Danny Jacobs' coach, Andre Rozier, and his team, they started seeing Errol Spence was on PEDs. They started saying the Charlos was on PEDs. They started that whole narrative about Errol Spence and the Charlos in Texas, and it was jealousy. They was jealous that usually East Coast dominate boxing. East Coast, Midwest, your Hispanic fighters out Southwest and out West, and you got a few black fighters out that way as well, like Andre Ward. Historically, the South hasn't been very, very dominant outside of, not really nowhere. You had Lacey, you had Tonio Tarver, you had Evander, you had some fighters down there that was doing their thing, right? But historically, they haven't really been good. And I think a lot of that was jealousy coming from the East Coast. So they usually the gifted ones in boxing. And now the Charlos getting a ton of hype, Errol Spence getting a ton of hype and support. They not used to that. So they sat there and started that narrative. Now, if it's true, do they know it's true for a fact? Then at the end of the day, they haven't been sued by the Charlos or Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao sued when people said he was on some shit. He sued the Mayweather camp. Errol Spence and Jamal Charlo, they don't pay no attention. I don't know if any interviewers ever brought it up to him, but that's when people start messing with Demetrius Andrade. Even though you can say all that, but when you gonna back up the talk? And he never backed up the talk. So him versus Canelo, in my opinion, that's one of the better fights this year. Now, will it turn out like Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo? Danny Jacobs versus Canelo, where it'll be a dud, and DAZN better hope not. It looked good on paper, but don't. Demetrius Andrade he's an enigma. He's a jigsaw puzzle. He's a Rubik's cube. You don't know what you're gonna get from him. You might get a gem. You might get a terrible performance. He might quit in there. I really don't know what to expect with him. Canelo needs. It should be an interesting fight, but it's not a fight that I'm for sure going to come out and materialize to be a great fight, in my opinion. But get more information on these situations, I'll let you guys know. Been covering the story for a minute. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Hellblaze, at thehellblaze.com. Promo code Goodfellow1Boxing gets you 18% off the 100% all natural products, lotion, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, deodorant, toothpaste, and much, much more. Website, promo code, and description. I do appreciate everybody for showing love. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email as well. All my information there. You want to make a donation That link's in the description. Best unless you can make it share the videos. And let me know what you guys think about the story. You excited for Andrade and Canelo. And let me know if you think Triple G is going to take the Derevianchenko fight. All right, one time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate the love, support, man. And tap in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Blessings. One time for the one time.